Imagine a prison surrounded by thousands of kilometers of ice. This was the reality for German soldiers in Siberian labor camps after World War II. Inside, prisoners worked grueling shifts in coal mines. The air was thick with carbon, causing lung diseases and cancer, making death certain for those remaining. This map shows the isolation of the camp. Deep in Siberia, his home in Germany sat roughly 14,000 kilometers away. Farrell faced a 25-year sentence. Look how this timeline overlays with the life expectancy of a prisoner here. It was effectively an execution. Even with light security, escaping meant facing the deadly freeze. Desperate, Farrell tried to stow away on a coal train, but he was caught. As punishment, guards locked him in an open-air cell for 2 days, and his fellow inmates brutally beat him for drawing the guards' wrath. The physical torment crippled his body, but it failed to break his resolve. He refused to let his wife and daughter spend the rest of their lives waiting for a ghost. Farrell's refusal to die caught the attention of the camp's doctor, a fellow German prisoner. The doctor had quietly hoarded warm clothes, boots, and a gun for his own escape. But after receiving a terminal cancer diagnosis, he knew he only had weeks to live. He handed his entire stash over to Farrell. Along with the gear, the doctor handed Farrell a small lunchbox. He asked Farrell to deliver it to his family back home, ensuring they would finally know what happened to him. Under the cover of darkness, Farrell stepped out of the camp and walked into a blinding Siberian snowstorm. He was embarking on a 14,000-kilometer walk. Every step through the ice was fueled by the promises he had made to 2 waiting families. For 9 days, Farrell walked through a desolate frozen landscape. The heavy snowfall erased his footprints from the pursuing guards, but the isolation pushed him to the edge of starvation. His body began to fail. He fell through a patch of thin ice into freezing water, injuring his leg. As his energy depleted, he started experiencing vivid hallucinations in the snow. Near complete collapse, he spotted a lone seal. With his last ounce of strength, he raised his rifle, steadied his shaking hands, and fired. That single meal allowed him to keep moving. To keep his mind from fracturing in the absolute silence, Farrell constantly spoke to himself aloud while navigating with his pocket compass. In an environment devoid of life, maintaining a mental image of his wife and daughter became his primary tool for survival. 2 months of walking brought him to a dense forest where he crossed paths with 2 gold miners. The brief companionship ended in violence. Consumed by paranoia over their gold, the miners turned on him, pushing him down a steep incline and leaving him for dead. He woke up to a pack of wolves. Just as they lunged, local hunters arrived, shooting the wolves and taking Farrell to their village to heal. The village offered warmth and rest, but when a letter arrived revealing the camp warden was hunting him nearby, Farrell packed his bag immediately. He chose the wilderness over endangering the people who saved him. The villagers gave him a hunting dog for company. Later, while fleeing the warden's troops near a railway station, the dog sacrificed itself to attack the warden, allowing Farrell to escape. By 1922, Farrell had reached Central Asia. He was a starving wanderer, yet the kindness of strangers sustained him. A local girl offered him food, and an ex-convict helped him secure a fake passport. Over 7 years, he endured extreme cruelty and betrayal, but the random grace of strangers continually pulled him back from the brink of death. Finally, Farrell reached the Russian-German border. He stepped toward the crossing point, the final threshold between his 7-year journey and his home. Halfway across the bridge, a blinding spotlight hit him. The warden was waiting for him on Russian soil. The warden stepped aside. He told Farrell that their long confrontation was over, and that as one soldier to another, Farrell had earned the right to walk into Germany. Farrell crossed into Germany. He traveled to his hometown and followed 2 familiar figures walking toward the local church, afraid to even speak. His daughter turned around. She recognized the father she had waited 7 years for and sprinted into his arms. Farrell survived 7 years and 14,000 kilometers because he had a family that refused to stop waiting. He endured the isolation of Siberia by focusing on a specific return, turning his escape into a march toward the people who kept his memory alive.